Hello, music lovers and armchair philosophers. Today I wanted to talk about the sublime. The sublime being the ineffable point at which something surpasses conventional beauty, and the only word for it is the sublime. To my new subscribers, first of all, welcome. In addition to singing, I like to talk about stuff that is interesting to me, so if you don't want to listen to it, then you certainly don't have to. The sublime is defined by most philosophers as a type of greatness that is beyond measure. The reason I thought about making a video on my opinion of the sublime was because I started making a video on my agnostic leanings, but you know, the more I thought about it, the more it just seemed like, you know, to the outsider it's just this drab gray area that spineless people sort of get blown over to by the wind. You know, that's not how I see it, but I wasn't quite satisfied with that particular label, so I would consider myself to have spiritual moments, and I would consider those moments to be of a sublime variety. The first piece of art that I think of when I think of the sublime is Caspar Friedrich's The Wanderer above the sea of fog. The figure is central, completely centered from left to right. The mountains are sloping down toward him. He is the center of the universe at this moment, and he is completely self-absorbed, and the environment is being absorbed into him, and they're sort of becoming one. And he's facing away from the viewer because he is not there for the viewer. He's there because for his own pursuit of greatness. And this painting is actually associated with Nietzsche a lot of the time. And Nietzsche and his characters do resemble probably this figure above the fog of ill reasoning, above the fog of confusion, and totally at peace in the cold, the almost desolate but beautiful top of the world. It's kind of interesting because the sublime is kind of experienced vicariously a lot of the time. Because of the new technologies, they allow us to be fully immersed in media. For example, have you ever been to, you're at the movie theater, and you know, it's like near the end of the movie, the main character that you really care about, he has a mission to fulfill. Maybe he has to sacrifice himself, maybe he has to just do the bravest feat, and so he's jumping off a building. It's going in slow motion. There's classical music playing. You can see all the events flash before his mind's eye that led up to this event. And this experience that you're having vicariously has kind of a metaphysical quality to it, kind of a timeless quality to it, that a human is conquering himself, really, in a way. And you know, at this point you probably have goosebumps. Maybe your eyes are tearing up a little bit. You know, you're experiencing this kind of greatness through him or her. So this is the result of you know, this kind of new media being a vessel for us to experience a full saturation of our senses. Not only our senses, but our intellectual capacity. We're just totally saturated. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this is nothing but paltry manipulation, because it is more than that. It's, you know, I wouldn't say that it's completely divorced from art, but movies are getting really good at manipulating us this way. And the New York Times actually ran an article a couple of years ago on this phenomena called pink noise. in Hollywood it's called pink noise. If you prefer, it's 1 over F, 1 over frequency. And if I may read from the article, track the pulsings of a quasar, the beatings of a heart, the flow of the tides, the bunchings and thinnings of traffic, or the gyrations of the stock market, and the data points will graph out as pink noise. Much recent evidence from the reaction time experiment suggests that we think, focus, and refocus our minds all at the speed of pink. Anyway, the cuts from these movies are, especially big Hollywood blockbusters, are starting to resemble this 1 over frequency pattern of pink noise, so that we feel more immersed than ever. So, in conclusion, I was wondering if you've ever climbed to the top of a mountain or experienced a piece of music that just put you in the state of mind, maybe just for a minute or 2 minutes, where you're gazing into infinity and the moment is complete. It's self-contained because nothing's more complete than infinity, right? And yet there's this dissonance and there's a deep throbbing sadness to it as well. And maybe you only experience it once or twice a year at most. Well, that's what the sublime is to me, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it.